Hey everyone, are you ready to have your mind blown? This video is packed with incredible trivia and interesting facts that you won't believe are true. So buckle up and get ready to learn. School comes from the ancient Greek skol, which meant leisure or spare time. Sounds like those Greeks had a much different experience with homework than we did. Maybe they just used their leisure to complain about all the toga laundry they had. Lyme disease is a bacterial infection spread by ticks. It's named after the town of Lyme, Connecticut. In the 1970s, doctors first identified and described the full range of symptoms in this area, so the disease got its name from the place where it was first clearly recognized. It causes flu-like symptoms and a bullseye rash. Early treatment with antibiotics is key. If left untreated, it can affect your joints, heart, and nervous system. The crew of Apollo 13 is remembered for the dramatic events that took place during their mission, but they also hold the record for the farthest distance humans have ever traveled from Earth. It wasn't intentional, though. Due to an oxygen tank explosion, their mission to land on the moon was aborted. The slingshot maneuver around the moon to return to Earth took them farther out than any other crewed mission, reaching a distance of about 248,655 miles, 400,171 kilometers. Once considered by astronomers to be a modest and relatively minor star, the Sun is currently recognized as outshining approximately 85% of the stars within the Milky Way. Despite its classification as a yellow dwarf, it's important to note that it appears white, not yellow, which goes against common perception. Russian cosmonaut Sergei Krikalev holds the record for the most time spent in space by any human in history. His cumulative time spent amounts to 803 days, 9 hours, and 39 minutes, which roughly translates to 2.2 years, accumulated across 6 separate space missions. One of his missions, launched in 1991, involved an unusual circumstance. He was aboard the Mir space station when the Soviet Union collapsed. Due to the political and logistical challenges of the situation, his return was delayed. This resulted in him spending 11 days in space. Can't imagine how he felt during this time. A hero, in my opinion. Over the past century, the eastern coast of the United States has casually sauntered approximately 8 feet or 2.4 meters farther away from Europe. It's like watching paint dry, but on a much grander scale. The fear of dinner party conversations or dinner parties is known as dapophobia. There were and are no native land snakes in New Zealand, and they would like to keep it that way. For that reason, it is against the law not only to have a snake, but even to be aware of one and not report it to the authorities. There are, however, at least 2 species of sea snakes that are sighted off New Zealand's shores. Color blindness is basically a deficiency of color vision, the most common of which is the red-green color vision defect. People with this defect have difficulty in differentiating between red and green color hues. It is a X-linked genetic disorder, as both genes for red and green receptors are located in the X chromosome. So for women to be colorblind, both chromosomes would have to be defective with the same deficiency, whereas males have a higher chance of the defect being present in their single X chromosome. Redheads are harder to sedate than any other group. Using most common anesthetics, they require on average about 20% more anesthesia. They also have a higher tolerance for pain than normal people. This is because the melanocortin-1 receptor mutation that gives them red hair also triggers the excess release of pheomelanin, a type of melanin, which among other things stimulates a brain receptor related to pain sensitivity. Not only did Marie Curie win 2 Nobel Prizes, but her family has been the recipient of 5 total Nobel Prizes. She won 2, her husband Pierre Curie won 1. Her daughter Irene Joliot-Curie won the chemistry prize in 1935 with her husband. Her second daughter was also the director of UNICEF when it won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1965. Sharks, stingrays, and chimera all possess an electroreception organ called an ampullae of Lorenzini. This organ gives them the ability to detect even small variations in electric potential. They can use this to detect magnetic fields, among other things. The sour taste of sourdough bread comes from lactobacillus, which lives in symbiosis with yeast, feeding on byproducts of yeast fermentation. The sour taste itself comes from the lactic acid produced by the lactobacillus. This also helps the bread last longer without spoiling, as most microbes can't handle the acidic environment created by the lactobacillus. It takes approximately 225 million Earth years for our solar system to make one trip around the Milky Way. This known as a galactic year or a cosmic year. The name for an ice cream headache is sphenopalatine ganglion neuralgia. A decision made in a big group is often much worse and prone to mob mentality than a decision made with just a few key people involved. Welwitschia mirabilis is an incredible plant species native to the Namib Desert of Namibia and Angola. It's capable of surviving for thousands of years thanks to its unique adaptations to the harsh desert environment. Unlike most plants that produce many leaves, Welwitschia mirabilis only has two. These two perpetually growing leaves can reach lengths of up to 2 meters, 6.6 feet, and continuously split and fray at the ends over time, giving the illusion of multiple leaves. The leaves are covered in a thick, waxy coating that helps to minimize water loss through transpiration. They also absorb moisture from the frequent coastal fog and have an impressive taproot system that can extend down to 30 meters, 98 feet, in search of underground water sources, and also have a very slow growth. They are living fossils. As evidence suggests, Welwitschia evolved around 200 million years ago, placing it alongside the dinosaurs. Going to the bathroom is one of the most dangerous things a sloth can do. Half of all sloth deaths occur while they are climbing to and from the forest floor, which is where they poop. In every clownfish group, all individuals start off as males. However, if the dominant female passes away, the leading male transforms, gaining weight and transitioning into a female. Once this change occurs, the new female selects a mate from the remaining males, typically favoring the largest one among them for breeding purposes. Even though earthworms need to breathe, they have no lungs. They acquire oxygen through their skin. This is why earthworms surface after heavy rains, even though it is extremely hazardous for them to do so. If they don't surface, they will suffocate and die because the heavy water content of the soil after rain doesn't allow gases to diffuse across their skin. Cockroaches and many insects are resilient to ionizing radiation because their cells divide infrequently, mostly during molting cycles. As a result, most exposed cockroaches, around 3/4, aren't particularly susceptible to radiation damage compared to those undergoing cell division. Don't forget to subscribe. There are about 2,000 species of starfish in the world's oceans today. Starfish are echinoderms, which are a phylum of marine invertebrates. Although starfish don't have brains, they have complex nervous systems. This allows them to feel pain, and it also coordinates their movement. Starfish don't have blood in their body. Instead, they rely on a clever water vascular system for their needs. Starfish have eyes. Although different from human eyes, starfish can see. Their eyes are located on the tip of each of their arms and are usually red or black in color. Although they're very small, they are visible to the naked eye. Starfish can live for many years, having a lifespan of between 10 and 34 years. Starfish are radially symmetrical, which means their arrangement of body parts is centered around a single main axis. They are carnivorous. They mostly eat clams, oysters, mussels, scallops, and coral. Starfish can reproduce sexually and asexually. Starfish can reproduce in two ways. Sexually, fertilization occurs by spawning. This is where males and females release millions of eggs and sperm into the water. When an egg meets with the sperm, fertilization occurs. Asexual reproduction takes place when fission or autotomy of arms occurs. This is when a central disc or a portion of their arm breaks off and a new piece grows to replace the missing part. Luna moths lack mouths. Upon emerging from their cocoons, they enjoy a brief lifespan of 7 days, during which they engage in mating before ultimately succumbing to starvation. There are animals and plants considered to be biologically immortal. While they can and do die, this is due to injury or disease. They don't age, at least not in the sense of breaking down, and won't die from old age. Jellyfish and aspen trees are 2 examples of this. Alligators are impressive chompers. They can regrow their teeth up to 50 times throughout their lifetime. With around 80 teeth in their mouth at any given time, they're constantly losing and replacing them every few years. This amazing ability helps them maintain their powerful bite for catching prey. Wow, that was a wild ride. I hope you learned a bunch of awesome new things. There's so much out there to discover, isn't there? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more mind-blowing facts. Let me know in the comments what other strange and interesting topics you'd like to see covered. Thanks for watching.